of an ancient tomb.
Holding horrors in every room.
And if by chance you should survive...
That's plenty of sweet loot inside!
Welcome back, everybody, to the European Regional Finals. We're halfway through to find out who are going to BlizzCon. I believe my grammar's correct there. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, Artosis.
Who is going to BlizzCon?
Who is going to BlizzCon? Well, we have two guys who've already determined so far with Number Guy and Quar, but we're not done yet. We have Greensheep versus TheFishou, and then Kalento versus Tice, the headliner matchup. It feels kind of like, you know, the MMA-esque of title cards. Like, we're building up to this big main fight, but in the end, all spots are equal.
That is very true. These guys have to prove themselves at the World Championships. If they get through here, and then we'll see really how they stack up against the best from all over the world.
Absolutely. So taking a look at the brackets here, we just see Quar and Number Guy get through. We're going to be having these two matches come up, and we apologize. There are a little bit of technical issues trying to get the stream up, but we're fixing it as soon as we can, and rest assured that we're trying to prioritize making sure that the players are comfortable. But at the same time, I have enjoyed the game so far. Of course, they're going to Game 5. How else should it be? I expect nothing less for the next two series.
Absolutely. That is the way that it has been so far, and I expect for these next two matches to be exactly the same as well. I guess the one that could go differently is this next one, though. Greensheep against TheFishou. TheFishou is our one aggressive player in the whole tournament. There's only one player that's truly trying to take the aggressive route here, but I think that he's kind of caught everyone off guard. Everyone else is playing control decks, and yeah, he has like a control deck or two mixed in there, but like for instance, his Shaman deck, Double Bloodlust, his Mage deck, perhaps the most all-in deck I've ever seen, just goes to face non-stop, but he's having great success with them.
Yep, Lothar, you were watching the matches yesterday. You even got to commentate the last series. Do you think Fisho, do you think that fatigue is going to settle in? Because Greensheep did end much earlier than he did.
Oh yeah, that will be a huge factor, I think, because TheFishou was playing till 5 a.m., right? That was 5 a.m.?
5:30 a.m. or so, I think we ended up leaving here. But just to make a really quick little pun, you know, he may be fatigued, but he won't get fatigued.
Oh yeah, that's true. We'll not
I mean, if he does, then his deck is not working as intended, that's for sure. Savitz, give me some comments about these two players.
I mean, TheFishou has been doing a lot of work with the Mage deck, and I'm sure I might talk about it more later, but the Mage is banned right now. I'm a bit worried for TheFishou.
That's too bad.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
Well, I think it makes sense. The Mage has made waves. In fact, I was seeing some fans submit statistics of how each class has performed this tournament, and interestingly enough, Mage has the highest win percentage, but largely in part thanks to TheFishou's performance, where he's about 5-1 overall. So, I mean, with the Mage decks performed excellently, I can see why Greensheep would be afraid of it.
And it looks like TheFishou took out Druid. I think that's never like a terrible ban. It's interesting that this is the first time his Mage has been banned. Wasn't his Warlock banned in the other matches? Or if it wasn't, I don't know if we've seen it. This could be a Zoo deck, right? Or did we see it?
It had been banned like all the time.
It has been banned. This is the first time
so.
something else is banned. Actually, knowing TheFishou, I think it is a Zoo deck.
Maybe even with Leper Nyms.
I really expect it. It could be Handlock, but I really expect it to be a Zoo deck. And seeing that there's a Paladin in Greensheep's lineup, he might be able to pick up a free win, so to say, against the Paladin.
There will be one problem for his Shaman, as he's playing double Bloodlust, right? All the free decks that he will be playing against have a massive AoE effect.
That's true. The Shaman might be a bit awkward here.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was a bit awkward when we watched it before, too. Like, just, I mean, even if you play just one Bloodlust, it's kind of like the card Wind Fury. Like,
if you draw it at the right point of the game, it's okay. But when you have two of them at your hand at all time and you have like blanks, it doesn't work out.
No, certainly not. You really need quite a few minions out there for it to work out. And the thing is, everyone's going to be knowing about that. So will that Shaman deck do what it's designed to do? I'm not really sure, but I'm very excited to see the Warlock deck.
Right, you guys actually put out a great point, and we saw that in case where the double Bloodlust were sitting in hand and it ended up being rotting away all game. We do want to remind you guys that this is not the only event. Even though we're wrapping up Europe, North America will be later this weekend, October 5th and 6th in the Hammerstein Ballroom of New York City. It's going to be a great time, and ESL is going to put on a great event, so make sure to check out. In fact, if you are the first 1,500 people who enter, you'll get 3 free Hearthstone packs. So for people who are interested, go out and check that out. And of course, it's all because we're trying to hashtag Road to BlizzCon to get this event trending. Let your friends know, let your parents know, let your classmates know, let your professors know that you're taking the time off to watch this great event. These players have gone through a lot of qualification process. Now, in the entire time, we are going to be able to try and get the next match underway. Artosis, taking a look at the Greensheep versus TheFishou, excuse me, do you have any predictions on how this match is going to go?
Savit said a good point that TheFishou, his mage is banned, and that's kind of carried him a lot through this tournament. It was like a really good deck choice, and he's quite good at playing it. But, you know, when I guess he played the priest deck well, now that I'm thinking about the actual match that he had against the Fallen. I thought he actually played it quite well. The Shaman deck, you know, you draw 2 Bloodlusts, you're probably not going to win. So I think it might come down to actually the Warlock deck, like kind of deciding this. If he can just like have it hit the Paladin and get that win, if it is in fact a Zoo deck, that could be big. But I think overall the Greensheep has definitely impressed me. Not maybe the most this weekend. He has made some mistakes here and there, probably due to nerves, but I think he's a very strong player. So I'm actually leaning just slightly towards Greensheep.
All right.
I'm really curious to see the Warlock. If that's a Zoo, there's a huge amount of space to take your deck out for the current metagame. So you can basically see some odd choices, like maybe even mind control tech.
Yeah, I think that against these type of decks that Greensheep is bringing, the Zoo might actually be pretty good. And there's another thing that Greensheep doesn't know that it's a Zoo. I mean,
maybe
he might
predicting him.
Yeah, I mean, he might be predicting it, but he could also be thinking that it's a handlock and Mulligan improperly.
Right,
I mean, Mulligan wrong because he would expect a handlock.
That's
the first game against a Warlock in a tournament is so scary because you have to mulligan for both. You know, this isn't the ladder where you just mulligan for Zoo.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's going to come into play in just in a couple minutes, guys. We're trying to get through our technical issues, so we're going to take a few minutes to try and sort all those out. But when we return, Greensheep versus TheFishou will continue here in the European Regional Finals.
Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft.
Wowee! And this is why you never quit, no matter how far behind you are. If you can win, you can win. Priest, I don't believe it. Wow. And that's gonna do it. Amaz takes the series.
So
2-1 to Priest.
Wow. I love Priest, man.
Welcome back, everybody, to the European Regional Finals for the Hearthstone World Championships. We're halfway through the day. 2 more spots to go through, 2 more tickets to give away. Greensheep versus TheFishou is coming up next on stream. And boy, have these players had quite the journey. And we can highlight them both in just a second, but I do want to give another shout out to Greensheep once again for being the substitute, the unknown guy, for coming in and taking another player's spot and yet making it to the top 8 and potentially winning one of these bad boys. What do you think?
That's very
Artosis?
nice. Flight ticket to BlizzCon.
This is not the actual
Which
ticket.
airline is that? I haven't seen that one before.
It's Blizzard's private jet that they sail on because it's a
sick.
free-to-play game. Well, now these guys are going to be fighting for the tickets, and it's going to be one more best of 5. We've seen 2 series go to Game 5 once again. I can't really think of any way ending for these guys.
Yeah, I think so. I have to agree with you here. I mean, these guys are all so evenly matched. We're going to see Game 5 most of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at the bracket real quick to check in once more for people who are just joining the stream. So far, we've seen 2 series so far to begin the day. We had Quar advance over Mr. Yagut, who did have one of the coolest 100 decks that we've seen in a while, which sounds a little paradoxical in the recent metagame, but you have to go back and watch it if you missed it. And then, of course, we had a number guy just advancing over Frezar, a nail-biting series we thought Frezar was going to advance, but he didn't. Savitz, talk to me about the 2 series. Which one did you like more as your personal favorite if people had to go back and watch Vazir?
I think the first one was really exciting just because of the deck list. I mean, the Hunter and Mr. Yagut Car, they both have like great storylines behind them, like how they got here and how they have been doing during the tournament. And I think that was, I mean, the last set was also really exciting and it was awesome, but I feel like the first one was even more fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then, do you recall the early beta games while there was Masters 3 and there was a Hunter Control deck that was kind of similar to this one?
It was, yeah. I do remember Hunter Control back then. I was trying to use it a little bit as well, to no avail. But yeah, people were trying these things.
So
I mean,
it's like a huge rotation made from the beginning of the game.
What are these Priest decks that we're looking at? Yes, they're more refined versions of what we used to play, but literally a year ago right now, Priest was one of the best classes. We were all playing 2 mind controls. Of course, it was 2 less mana, but I mean, we were all playing something very similar with the Akanai, with the Circle, with the Blade Master. It wasn't that far off, too.
And look at the mage, which TheFishou brought. It's basically another iteration of the old Rush mage with 2 Pyroblasts to the face at turn 8 and always going crazy. Oh no, Pyroblast.
It's been around for a long time. We've had quite the journey, not just in the metagame, but for the players as well. I believe Rachel is prepared to talk about the 2 players and see how they're feeling right before their match.
Welcome back, everybody. We've got another round of Hearthstone and another player that's going to be on their way to BlizzCon after it. Please help me welcome to the stage, representing Team Dignitas, it's Greensheep. And Greensheep, your opponent today is going to be from Gamer Origin, TheFishou. Welcome, gentlemen, to the globe, and welcome to the largest stage yet, until we get to BlizzCon. So, Greensheep, you might have come in as a replacement, but originally you qualified through a Fireside Gathering tournament, is that correct?
Yeah, I qualified for a Fireside Gathering, but I also won a Zotac.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, I'm not trying to diminish your things, but I want to talk about Fireside Gathering because that's something really cool that Blizzard is doing. How do you feel about Blizzard's Fireside Gathering initiative?
I think it's really interesting because it gathers people around the community to all come together and play Hearthstone.
And what's better than that? TheFishou, you used to be a poker player. How important are facial tells when it comes to playing Hearthstone face-to-face?
Yeah, sometimes I try to do that, so read tells.
Keep a stone face, Greensheep. All right, gentlemen, shake hands. Let's get this match underway. Casters, all of you now.
Thank you once again, Rachel, and TheFishou versus Greensheep is about to go under momentarily with Lothar, Savitz, and Artosis taking the handles. But before we do, I want to poll predictions, scores. Lothar, you go first. You're the guest.
I think we'll see a Warlock opening from TheFishou against Paladin, I presume, which will end, well, either way. If it's Zoo, then a Warlock can win. I think so. Then we'll see like battle back and forth, and we'll end 3-2 for the either of the guys. I don't really know how it will end.
All right, so you're taking the caster approach. Can't pick any of these great competitors.
Yeah.
Savitz, give me a hard line here.
I'm really worried about the Shaman deck that TheFishou is bringing with the double Bloodlust. I'm not sure I like that list so much, so I don't put much faith in the Shaman. But if he has the Zoo, I think he might be able to maybe even sweep with it.
Wow, that would be definitely a big change of pace considering the 3-2s. Artosis, do you follow suit?
I think that if he's playing Zoo here, that's like the biggest part of this match. If he's playing Handlock, I don't know. I mean, it's the same match as any other match here where it's like either player could win here. But Zoo could give him a legs up. I have to disagree with you, though. I would start with the Shaman deck, no doubt. It's just such a wonky deck. You're not going to use it to counter anything. So I'd want to come out of the gate strong with it.
If TheFishou doesn't start with Warlock and you open with Shaman, then what do you use against Shaman? You have only Paladin then.
You use Priest against Shaman.
Yeah, you thought steal his best cards.
Well,
And then not even need to use it because you drew Holy
Takes off
Smite.
the headset and leaves.
Yeah, I can leave now.
All right, so I don't know. I mean, who's going to win? If it's Zoo, maybe TheFishou 3-2. If it's Handlock, maybe Greensheep 3-2.
Okay.
The thing is, I mean, is it Zoo is the question. He's playing double Bloodlust in one deck. He's playing Aggro Mage in another. Completely control Priest.
We can make assumptions, but
We've
it's
been
not
talking.
certain.
Well,
Yeah.
we've been talking a lot about the Shaman and how it's weird with double Bloodlust. But what decks are actually like? What's a good matchup for this kind of Shaman, Savitz? This is a closing thought, by the way.
Something that has a difficult time clearing the board. Weak AOE. That's how you get value out of the Bloodlust. The card is extremely powerful, but it requires a certain type of setup to use it properly. So if there's like if the Paladin doesn't or the other Shaman doesn't draw the necessary board clear, the Bloodlust can actually win games.
All right, well, we'll see. Shaman versus Shaman start things off. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you, Frodan. Yeah, Shaman versus Shaman. Artosis 1, Lothar. One. You said Greensheep was. No, you said he'd open Paladin. Lothar 0. All right. Okay, so Shaman versus Shaman. What do you guys think about this with the double Bloodlust in the deck, and you know about it?
Now, Lightning Storm are more important than usual, and they are like the most important card is in the mirror matches when it comes to Shaman versus Shaman.
Yeah.
So, getting a Lightning Storm like Greensheep just did is super important.
I think the early game here is going to be absolutely, I mean, even more important than it usually is, just to see that who gets the early advantage going, and who gets the board control, who gets to make the trades, who gets to clear the totems as they spawn. And I think that the player who can establish good board early might snowball from there.
Well, right now he's trying to decide, does he make a totem, does he make an egg, does he coin out the wolves? That would kind of point towards what you were saying. He wants to clear those totems immediately.
Yeah, that's a good play. That's an aggressive play, which fits the official playstyle. So I agree that that's a good move. And he basically has 3 cards that fit 1 mana curve at turn 3 when you overload it. So, I agree with that play.
That's really cool, actually. And, you know, with those 3 1-mana cards, I guess that does make some sense.
It makes sense. You don't often see that because it really limits the next turn with only 1 mana. But I mean, he has every single 1 mana card that he plays. So he will have something to do.
That's actually a great draw, I think. Got great opening hand.
Well, look at this his opponent here. Like, he's going to be able to kill a totem, but the next turn, for sure, we're going to see Unbound Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, I would be surprised if it was anything else than that.
We have to say that it was actually a very good move from Greensheep from in the last turn because he didn't like overextend the board, so basically forced nothing to be played from the TheFishou side.
And this is going to give him pretty big board advantage here.
Yeah,
getting a 3/5 Unbound right away.
That Unbound might be difficult to deal with. He can silence it, but if he wants to kill it, he actually needs to spend 2 spells to do so.
Well, he does draw another Feral Spirits. Think there's any use in Feral Spiriting and
No,
Earth
I don't
Shocking
think
it?
so.
I think he has to just do that and use the two 1-mana spells to deal with the Unbound. Otherwise, it might get out of control.
Yeah, and totem up.
And throw them up, yeah. Or play the
maybe-
Nerubian Egg.
Yeah, Nerubian Egg is also okay, I think.
It could be alright. I mean, he could just cast the Earthshock and the Lightning Bolt and play the Nerubian Egg. Then next turn with the
Flame Tongue.
Rock Biter or the Flame Tongue,
Yeah.
or maybe both. If there's something with high toughness, he could even play both of those.
Like an Azure Drake.
Well, it looks like instead he wants to play these two, which I would say absolutely means the Earth Shock's coming.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise the Unbound can just clear those so easily.
But the thing is, the Unbound will still be at 2 HP. I mean, at 1 HP after attacking one of the walls.
That's
so
right.
if he gets a healing totem...
And he does get it.
Oh,
No, this is
that's brutal.
really,
It
really
does still
brutal.
die to the other Unbound, but I would say it's the best totem he could hope for here.
For sure, I would say.
If there would be a second lightning bolt here,
Well,
so getting value out of this Black Knight will be now tricky. I think. in
Yeah,
this
it
matchup.
might be.
I don't
yeah,
know
I mean,
if
what are you
it-
going to kill? A Sludge
if-
Belcher?
Greensheep is playing double Argus and double Argent Squires. That was this deck. Or
No, that was Cupcake.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So maybe, how do you do this? I would love to see the Nerubian Egg come out right here. But does he cast something with the 1 mana?
Well, you have to. If you kill the 100 creeper, it doesn't change much. It
No,
even
not at all.
Yeah, it even makes your position worse.
No, after he makes that trade, there's no reason. But I was thinking if he used the Feral to maybe clear the healing totem, then he could have used the spell to kill off that minion.
Now the egg is one for one trade, so it's not so bad.
TheFishou has really good turn here. Drake, Lightning Bolt. I can't imagine anything else.
Yeah, yeah. and
Especially
I'm
with
sure,
2 drakes.
sure
Yeah.
you're quite right about that. He's definitely going to go for that. Still, you know, we do have a little bit of a board for his opponent here. Couple Flame Tongue Totems in the hand of the TheFishou now.
Yeah, but he needs to find a way to get good use out of those.
He
Yeah,
will have
still
a hard
slightly-
time establishing a board for setting a Bloodlust or Flame Tongues.
That's true.
There's 2 Lightning Storms
Yeah.
in Greensheep's hand. Like, he has to be... Oh, God,
Great
that is
draw
just a
there.
great rip right there off the top.
I think that's the best possible thing that he could have drawn there.
Yeah, yeah. His board looks so nice right now.
Oh no, so many
This-
situational cards for TheFishou.
Yeah, this is the same position he was in yesterday.
God, he's just
Basically
like...
the same. Yeah, he had then 2 Rogue Biters, 2 Bloodlusts, and I think 1 Flame Tongue Totem.
I feel really bad for him being overloaded by 1 that turn as well, because if he could have played the Haunted Creeper, at least his Flame Tongue Totems or Rock Biters can do some real work the next turn.
That's the thing with Shaman class. It's a really tricky class to play. I think it's one of the most challenging class to play.
I definitely do agree with you on that. I think that for a lot of new players, they have a hard time figuring out with Overload and situationally which removal matters in which situation against which deck.
Yes.
I believe that's a bit of a misplay there, placing the Drake on that side.
Yeah, yeah. Shouldn't have it at 8 attack. Some people play a BGH in this deck. Normally
No,
not,
he
though.
mentioned that as a Drake should be 6.
Yeah. He will drop this spider down. At least he's
In the
starting to
end-
build something on
yeah,
his board.
In the end, the positioning didn't matter at all.
Yeah. Well,
Probably gonna see a Hex.
Yeah, that would make sense. But you know what? Even as a Hex, it can still be bloodlusted.
Sure can.
It's
Both
funny to
players
watch.
are playing Nurgunex.
Yeah. It's kind of funny to watch Greensheep actually build a gigantic board against the Bloodlust deck.
Oh, look. There's
There's
a
the
lightning
Lightning
storm.
Storm.
The
But
MVP
it might
of
not
the
be
game.
enough. And it's a bit tricky with the Lightning Storm and the Rock Pyro, because he can't like...
What about the Flame Tongue plus Lightning Storm?
I think you roll first.
He wanted to see a Spell Power Totem there
Yeah.
for sure.
That would have been nice.
And he rolls low, which doesn't really matter.
But he...
Well,
No,
it
he-
matters a little bit, actually.
Yeah.
He has to...
Well, he will
Well,
kill both.
no, yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter at all.
He can actually clear this. He can throw the Spider into the Fire Element, or he can use both of the Rock Biters.
This feels so bad when you use both rock biters.
It sure does. But I feel like he
Do you
kinda
want to
has
actually do that? Yeah, I guess you want to save your Flame Tongue Totem, but... Well, he has another one.
You're taking the 4 damage anyway from that. I mean,
We will see a lightning storm here, so if TheFishou paid attention to the cards being played from your opponent's hand, he knows that 2 cards will be sitting in the dark.
yeah, and with the hand
So-
that he has, with the hand that the TheFishou has, he can't deal with the Nerubian later on either. So
Well, I think he's trying to use the Flame Tongue Totem and the Totem and tokens that he has out to deal with this, but...
as horrible as it feels to be using 2 Rock Biters for the Nerubian, the Nerubian is gonna end the game. It looks like.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you, the double rock biter was the correct play there. He has to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to be at like 1 health.
No,
I
but
don't think he's going to be coming back from this
No.
one, guys.
I mean, eventually there will be a lightning bolt or some kind of direct damage.
Maybe he has Alex Strasser in his deck.
Seems unlikely, but it's
Yeah, that
possible.
was a
I mean.
joke. I wasn't serious.
Yeah, okay. I missed it. My bad.
Well, he actually leaves the 4/4 out here. Thing is, at 28 health, it doesn't even
Oh.
matter what his opponent
There we
draws.
go.
And yeah,
That's
that's,
game.
that is lethal.
So actually, Greensheep was playing
was
one
quick.
defender artist. That's the information you want to know, because it kind of gives you information about how to use your example Black Knight in the next game.
Well, you know, that was a kind of tough one, but I think we all agree that the Shaman deck is the weak deck in the Fishou's lineup. You know,
Yeah,
out of
that's
his-
the
Yeah,
weakest deck.
It was a bit expected, and now the TheFishou can bring out his priest.
Yeah, and I mean, if he picks up that priest win, which we would expect him to do, you know, there has to be a counter pick here, which has to be, well, that would be Warlock. I mean, you're going to use Handlock against the priest deck, no doubt.
This
That's
is like really a rock paper scissors type of situation
Yeah,
that we're
yeah.
here. And the first game in these type of sets is extremely important, and Greensheep off to a good lead.
Yeah, and then we might, I mean, if this goes like the way you would think, we might end up Warlock versus Warlock, so it'll either be Handlock or Zoo going up against a Handlock deck.
I mean, so by the looks of it, I mean, as far as the matchups goes, this is gonna be a priest. It could beat the shaman, then there's gonna be then there's gonna be a
warlock beats
warlock
the
to beat the
priest.
priest, and then it comes down to the zoo versus handle. But it's a bit early to say, and the matchup. I mean, the games don't always work out for even the favored deck. I mean, it's at best it's like 80 to 20.
Yeah, I mean,
Which is still huge.
Yeah,
it's
huge.
pretty huge.
But
I would say, by the
know.
way, the old Freeze Mage is 95% against Miracle. That's my opinion.
I don't agree
I think
with
that's the most one-sided match in the entire game, in my opinion.
I think Warrior versus Freeze Mage is actually more than 95.
But you can do things like put in one, what's his face, Archmage Antonidas to try to fight back and have maybe a little bit more. But anyways, this is a pretty pointless little conversation we're having. All right, let's take a look at these hands that they have. Well, I mean,
Okay, that's
Pretty
the
decent
MVP
cards.
of the game, which is Cabal Shadow Priest.
yes, and they
I
also
agree so much what you were saying the last match about Cabal Shadow Priest. It's like spot on.
it's definitely a very important card here, still in those wolves and whatnot.
Yep, it's quite often correct if he was to have the coin, to just hold on to the coin, just to get the Cabal that one turn earlier. But here he's going first, so we won't see that happen.
No.
Double Holy Nova.
Yeah, not the most exciting.
I mean,
hand.
one is great to have, but using both of the Holy Novas efficiently might be a bit tricky.
Now we'll see. I think that. No. I just thought maybe playing the wolves here, but it doesn't make sense. So it doesn't.
Yeah,
the
it's probably,
elemental is better.
Yeah, it's probably better to play this way around.
And it looks like this Northshire really not going to get very much done here. Probably just going to die in the next turn, unfortunately.
Yeah. So he can play the Dark Cultist, or he can play the other Dark Cultist, or he can go for a draw, I guess.
I like him attacking into this. I wouldn't mind seeing him attack into that and then play the Dark Cultist, because that would bring, this elemental into range of dying to the Dark Cultist, even with the spell being played. But it doesn't end up doing that.
Looking at Greensheep's hand, this looks to me like that's exactly what you want to have against the priest. Just try to rush him down early, unless you go for the cupcake strategy. This is like I feel like Greensheep might have all the tools required to steal this one.
Yeah, look at this. He's got the Flame Tongue Totem right now.
This is the same strategy you wanted to get when you were playing against Miracle Rogue.
Yeah.
Well,
but there is that Orkanai in the TheFishou's hand, and if he can draw the circle, that would be huge.
Oh, that was a 0 cost mana spell.
That's not bad.
Yeah, he does have this Shadow Word Death. He could use it on the 5/3. You think
He's
that's
looking
worthwhile?
at 9 damage next turn.
Yeah, the Holy Nova. If he plays the Holy Nova, I guess he's setting up for another one next turn.
Yeah, this makes so much. This gives so much information to your opponent.
Yeah.
It does.
I don't think it's. Maybe it's the correct play here, but it's definitely
I like
a weak
this
one.
more. Oh, he's gonna go for the Nova.
I like this because the Shaman will now just play a totem and pass the turn.
Yeah, I would imagine. I
should.
could see him dropping the Spider.
That's the
man.
perfect card for him right now.
Yeah.
Because he can figure out from that Holy Nova that there will be more AoE clear on the following turn.
That's like the turn 6 Black Knight on a Druid of the Taunt.
I mean,
The Druid of the Taunt.
Yeah, or the Druid of the Chart.
from Greensheep's point of view, this draw is just a dream against the priest.
No question there.
And a Lightning Stone,
Yeah,
which is also important. In
He's
this
got
meta.
like such a flexible, nice hand here.
I mean,
He's got so much he can do.
How much damage is that? Does he have like lethal with Earthshocking his own Unbound or something? Earthshock on the Feral Spirit, place the No. How much is that? 12.
He had no
12 plus 5.
Apart from
He's one off if he was to use the Flame Tongue between the Lothep and the Unbound, then Earthshock the Wolf, Earthshock the Unbound, and hit for 2 more with the. So he could actually push the TheFishou down to 1.
Wait, Earthbound the Earthshock the Unbound?
Yeah, I mean after attacking it, so you could get 2 more damage with the with the silenced Flame Tongue.
Yeah.
But that would have been 1 shot.
That's pretty funny.
Oh, he finds really good trades here.
Man, that's a lot of damage incoming.
It sure is.
Wow.
I feel like he has to draw the Circle of Healing here.
Yeah, without Circle, this will be almost impossible to come back.
I mean,
He has no way of dealing with the Flame Tongue Totem, which is basically 3 damage for the Shaman. And at 11 HP from the Priest side, I think that's... Unless he draws a Circle next turn, this might be over.
yeah. He has to Shadow Word Death that low to.
This is really bad if he loses this game against the Shaman. Because, no matter what Warlock deck he brought here, Shaman can beat it.
Yeah.
You get the right draw with Shaman, then, I mean, you can beat the Warlock, so...
This just shows what class Shaman is. If you get the right draw, you don't need any card draw. He didn't actually draw single card this game, right? I mean, apart from the usual card draw every turn.
That is
You
the
just
case.
got raw power from your cards.
Yeah, if you have the right answers at the right time for Shaman, the class is ridiculous. It can do so much. And this, let's see.
He has the means to any end.
He can deal 10 that I can see.
Yeah. It's close.
Not quite.
Actually, I believe it's 9. Or
He
no,
could have done
yeah.
10.
Okay.
You put the Argus on the right-hand side of the spider. Not the greatest play. That's the Earthshock his own stuff too. You taught me that.
Oh yeah, right. Checking the the searing totem. All right.
He gets a card that he will buy him a little time.
Well, let's see.
Using Holy Nova here will put him at 10? No. How much HP he has?
I think there's a
5
attack
right now.
So that's 7, and there will be 4 attack minion on board.
Yeah, and there's so many ways for the shaman to deal exactly 3 damage. There's the fire elemental, there's rock biter, there's fire elemental. I mean, there's fire elemental, rock biter, and lightning bolt. So I would expect a heal after this, just because he's so low.
Yeah.
With the rock biter already in hand, he has a lot of draws to just end the game right here.
That is the case.
And that's
That's
that
one way.
seals the deal. Wow.
All right.
Even with 14 HP, he wouldn't be able to win this game.
Well, this is.
This will be a quick series.
It certainly is. This is a quite opposite of what we saw before. But you know what? A lot of FishOu series have looked like this. This doesn't mean he can't reverse all kill. But it's
Well,
tough.
Number Guy pulled off this 3 times
Yeah.
already.
Actually, you're very right. That's what Number Guy does.
It all comes down to the warlock. Whether
is he
it be
playing?
Zoo or is it handlock? We don't know.
I don't know.
But I'm excited to see.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what it is because I would not be surprised if he was like when you were saying Lothar, he could even play like Leper Gnome in a Zoo deck. And the thing is, we haven't seen decks like that in a while. Like normally, what we see are the decks that trade really well with like sturdy minions and Death Rattle nowadays. But something more aggressive could be played as well.
Yep. And again, Lightning Storm would be the MVP of the game.
Yeah.
If Shaman gets the hand like that again, then it doesn't matter. It's
But
Zoo or
you
it's Handlock.
No, not
you
at all.
don't look. Do you look for the Lightning Storms? Because I would like think it's Handlock unless you really look at this guy and his personality and the way he likes to play. Then I would consider. Well, it could be either way, but. You know, you like for instance, he's playing a very controlling priest. Like it's the same type of control priest everyone else is playing. So he can and will play a control deck if he thinks he needs to. And Handlock is like one of the best decks in the format.
Yeah.
Maybe he played mind games by doing the interview. He was
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
absolutely
I
could.
will give some clues that I'm an aggro player, and I actually have 2 control decks in my disposal."
I have seen
Oh,
the
it's Zoo.
Oh, I was about to say that I have seen the FishOu play handlock too, and he's very good at that as well. But Zoo was more likely. So now we know, unless it's a handlock with some weird card
It's half
choices.
Zoo, half Handlock.
Yeah. Okay, it's Zoo. I'm just kidding.
Well, for the opening hands, he's going to see this Flame Imp. Let's see the look on his face, Greensheep. He's not, it doesn't seem surprised or anything. I think he was probably thinking about this and saying, oh, this definitely could be a Zoo deck that I'm playing against. And his hand isn't bad. Look at this. He has 2 Unbounds. He has a Defender of Argus. He has an Earthshock. These are all valuable cards against this.
Yeah. But most importantly, there's no Lightning Storm just
Yeah.
yet. He absolutely needs to have the Lightning Storm to be able to clear the Zoos, clear the Warlock's board at some point.
But double effort isn't bad at all.
Yeah, I'd be like the Unbound coming out. Would you trade right into this?
Oh, you have to.
I think you have to.
I would definitely agree with you.
1
That thing-
mana for a 3 mana creature, that's a deal you cannot pass.
Yeah.
So you will hero power here and just go face for 4 and kill the Unmovable Elemental. Oh!
That's a good draw.
There's a leper.
Greensheep's coin is now gone, and trading that for 1 mana guy. Not all that great.
No, certainly not.
He doesn't play.
He wants to play the.
I really like this because now we can keep the abusive surgeon to find a good trade with a potential taunt or something.
Yeah,
The only
right.
thing that's sad is that Earthshock is much more useful on this.
That's true.
That's true.
He does Earthshock it. Good answer right there.
The FishOu really would love to see something that he can play. Oh, well, that's something. I mean, just the abusive surgeon wouldn't.
That's why I
Be
would
very
keep
strong.
the leper gnome. the turn before because you play
yeah.
around Earthshock and you play for your Undertaker.
Yeah, well, personally, I actually would have gone the same route as you and pumped him up. But actually, the being able to trade into, let's say, you know, the Spirit Wolves that come out, that might be very important if you have a bunch of two-attack minions.
You have also a Defender of Argus.
That's true.
And also a Power Link and, you know, Doomguard going down. So I don't think...
Another stone.
It's pretty good. 2 taunt totems in a row.
Not bad at all, and Greensheep does have a lot of like quality cards and cards that might buy him more time, but he has to draw, like I said earlier, he has to draw that Lightning Storm.
Yeah.
There's going to be so many
thing.
minions.
Thing is, we've actually, because that TheFishou has actually had kind of awkward cards in his hand for his mana curve, he's actually life tapped a little bit more than you know, sometimes you see with the zoo this early. So even if Lightning Storm comes, he still has a decent chance of rebuilding his board.
Yes.
Yeah, he does. Does he play around it here? I mean, we can see obviously that he should just go all in with the Undertaker, Abusive Surge, and the Harvest Golem. But
That's not the obvious play.
We can see.
Yeah, of course. I agree with you.
In this situation, I think that's easily like the strongest play.
Oh. Well, he's going to buff up these minions a little bit. So a Lightning Storm at this point might not clear everything on the board. You'd have to roll high on 2 of them.
Not bad at all. I mean, there's 3 minions, and he could run the Spider into the 3rd one, but...
I will see the Lightning
pretty
Bolt
good.
and the Earthshock to Undertaker, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And that 3/5 is pretty scary, but you know what? This Abusive Sergeant actually comes into play really well here now. This is exactly the type of trade, I think, Savitz, that you were talking about.
But knowing the TheFishou style, I wouldn't be all that surprised if he just went for face with like just plays the Dark Iron, plays the Abusive, and just goes face for that ton of damage, let's just say that.
So seeing the power overwhelming in his hand, we can also presume that predict that he plays Void Terrors, maybe 1 in his deck.
Yeah, you definitely could.
It's a bit weird with the positioning if he's going to drop it.
He's definitely going to trade it in, I think.
Oh yeah,
like,
so then it wouldn't matter.
His style definitely is to go to face, but like I think when you look at a shaman that has used the cards he's used and he's down to 3 cards in hand, you know he plays cards like Doomhammer, I think you just keep trading because he has. TheFishou has such a strong and nice hand.
Trading is the better play here.
So in the next turn, we will see a Doomhammer with Rockbiter to clear the Iron Dwarf, I think. Oh no, that's also okay.
Yeah, I love
really
this,
like
he gets
this
2
because he can
taunts.
play the defender.
Yeah,
too.
that's the better play.
That is a great play. Really well done by Greensheep here. That's actually so annoying to deal with.
How are the juggles gonna fall? He can throw so many.
He could, I mean, if he wants to try to juggle it away, he can play the Knife Juggler and start playing minions. As soon as the knife hits one of the spiders, you kill the other spider with the wolf.
With the spider being drawn, I think you hold on to the juggler because it's really a powerful play to play the juggler and then trade the spider in because you get instantly get the 2 knives.
That's true. I agree with that.
Well, I think this fits his curve a little bit better.
That's
doing
true.
it like this. So
I wouldn't call this a mistake.
okay, well, one of those juggles actually okay, I think.
Yeah.
On that Defender of Argus.
Yeah,
now
that was a good
we'll
one.
see some Doomhammer value.
You got to be careful with that, though.
Yeah, he does take damage doing so.
But he will trade. I mean, he will. Oh, I would just play the Doomhammer and
Whoa,
kill the
there's
spider.
Storm, but he can't cast it yet.
Yeah, this is really
How much is
important
that?
here.
It's gonna be a lot because he can kill the spider and he has 11 more from the hand. Huh.
Second juggler.
Alright, so
which
I'm
is
pretty
cool.
sure we're gonna see the juggler and then the Death Rattle knives come out.
The problem is that the egg is sitting there.
Yeah, it's a bit scary.
It is, but I mean, if this Knife Juggler is going to slaughter this egg off, that's kind of sad. Let's see it.
So his plan is to use the Abusive Sergeant after this go on.
I think he's
Probably.
going to... You don't think he'll play the... I mean, he knows there's a Doomhammer in here. He knows there's a card that's been in hand a long time.
Oh no, that's scary.
Did you see the look on the TheFishou? Because just look at him like after a knife.
if he now runs, I would run the Hunted Creeper first, because if it kills actually the egg, then you would use your power overwhelming to maybe trade for the... no, that doesn't make sense.
Oh man.
I'm not sure.
I feel like with that egg maybe about to pop, I would actually play the Voidwalker, to be honest. Well, that's gonna make...
He has to hit one knife on this.
This is so risky.
Yeah, it is. Just do it, Fisho. Let's go.
Wow. What a gamble. If he gets the knives for, let's say...
No, that's even worse. Oh, this will be painful.
But he does have a lot of direct damage, and that flame tongue. I believe that allows him to completely clear the board, because he can take out the spider with the egg and take out the first part of the harvest column with the drake before storming. But he has to be careful here. He should attack first with the egg.
Is he actually going to do this first?
He needs to attack first with the egg.
Yeah,
otherwise the knife might hit on the egg, and then
you're right.
And then he couldn't attack with the egg anymore.
He rolls a taunt totem, by the way. He definitely could come into play here with the Doom Guard in hand.
Oh no! If the knife was to hit, yeah.
Oh,
okay,
really surprised.
Oh no!
Oh, no, he can't attack there. So the harvest column is actually going to survive.
Yeah, he is going to have a harvest column left over here.
But I mean, it did clear the border, so
it's
not
still
a disaster.
such a bad position
I would have
TheFishou.
liked him to do it the other way around.
God, this is getting really scary here.
Sure is.
What do you... I don't even...
You have to
It's hurting my brain to try to figure out this play here.
Yeah, TheFishou has to fish for a Soulfire here, I think.
Soulfire would help a lot.
Yeah.
This is a tough position to be at.
This
You're gonna
looks
like
bleak.
that. Like, that's the worst draw you could get
Worst
in the whole
card
deck.
in the deck.
God, that's so brutal.
This is game.
He has to clear one of the minions with the Doom card. But that doesn't feel great. Or,
wow. Or he just makes a couple taunts and hopes.
Can he?
Wow.
Does he survive with this? I think he survives for now.
Yeah, I think he lives through this turn.
I actually like this play a lot. It makes a lot of sense. Now if one of his minions...
Oh man.
TheFishou is going to...
Wait, no, he kills
now
him.
it's lethal.
It's lethal. I mean, Greensheep is going to Blitzcon.
Wow, a clean sweep in the top 8.
Wow. Well, as we said, if it was going to happen, it was going to be in the TheFishou series. And it looks like Greensheep going to BlizzCon with a 3-0 over TheFishou, and this means both of the replacement players have qualified for the World Championships.
Which is awesome and outrageous for the other players.
Yes, indeed. Rodan, what do you think about this series?
Yeah, wow, what a crazy way to close out the guys. Take a look at the
It looked like you guys were right. A couple of weaknesses were shown, and I feel like Greensheep played really solid. Overall, he made some pretty good decisions. Of course, you got a couple of nice coin flips is why he had some good draws.
Certainly.
But you take the good with the bad. I've also seen Greensheep get pretty unlucky this tournament, so it's about the fact that he's able to hit a couple good draws. Now, taking a look at it, we have 3 out of the 4 players coming into this, and now we're really starting to get into our last match, Clento versus Titus. We'll talk about that in a quick second. But we do want to remind people to make sure to stay engaged and let us know what you guys think about everything that's been going on social media by hashtagging Road to BlizzCon. I've seen all kinds of funny pictures, some photoshops, some people telling us their favorite moments, and we're taking some time to reply. So I want to definitely thank Lothar for coming on. Why don't you get a few... Oh,
it was a pleasure.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. There's a lot of noise going on in the venue. Give me a little bit of a recap of what you liked about this tournament so far, because I believe Ninja will be rotating back on the cast for the last series here.
Okay. I just love the atmosphere here. DreamHack is a perfect place to make a tournament this big, and the organization here makes it also perfect. I think it's like the most entertaining tournament to watch yet.
Absolutely.
So it's just lovely.
All right, well, you can watch the last one from the fan seats, and we'll be able to get into that last series in just a second, guys, but Rachel is joined by the winner in Greensheep. Let's hear from him.
Thank you guys so much. I'm here with Greensheep, our winner from the third match of our 4 matches today to determine the road to BlizzCon travelers. Greensheep, you do incredible when you play online at home. You were #1 EU ranked player in April a couple times. And you do incredible at LAN. Where do you feel like you do better?
Well, I feel I do well when I'm in the zone. Like, when I can concentrate just purely on the game and on the plays I'm going to make.
So is that at home, really? Get to put your feet up, hang out in your shorts?
Oh, since I haven't been to a load of LANs, yeah, mainly at home, the first game I played here versus Tice, it was pretty nervous, but I think the second and this game, I calmed down and I felt in the zone.
He was in the zone, ladies and gentlemen. Well, do you think you're going to be able to get in the zone at BlizzCon?
BlizzCon's going to be like amazing and there'll be a load of amazing people. But I feel if I can calm down and concentrate, I can probably win.
You can win. It has the power inside you. And here's your ticket, because you're also going to need that. Thank you guys so much for a wonderful cast. We have one more game of Hearthstone coming up next to determine our final winner on the road to BlizzCon. Stay tuned, guys. We're going to a quick commercial.